I want you all to take a listen to what President Trump had to say this afternoon about Congresswoman Tlaib's comment.
Well, I thought her comments were disgraceful. This is a person that I don't know. I assume she's new. I think she dishonored herself, and I think she dishonored her family. Using language like that.
He's very offended by that language, Mary Catherine. Very offended.
Let me say that when it comes to cussing, I cuss a blue streak when I am not here. I got beams in my own eyes. But in public, I do think that it is important to speak respectfully. It's one of the issues I have with Trump. And I also think his adversaries who bemoan the loss of rhetorical standards should not double down on that loss in response to him. I don't think it gets us anywhere. But on the issue of impeachment, like, Nancy Pelosi has a more liberal caucus now that would like to go that direction, and she may, I think, have her wits about her and say this is not the greatest political option, but she's going to be getting pushed.
It is going to be tough. Take a listen to the latest polling about how Americans feel about impeaching President Trump. 80% of Democrats think that the president should be impeached and removed from office. 55% of independents disagree. 91% of Republicans disagree. But 80% of Democrats want President Trump to be impeached. That's a number that Nancy Pelosi and the House Democratic Caucus is going to have to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is a little bit, Democrats just really, really, really don't like Donald Trump and just don't want him to be there. And so if you say impeachment, they're going to say yes. I don't think that means that Nancy Pelosi can't necessarily keep the caucus together and wait until there's actually a report to look at. But I also just want to say about this kerfuffle over the use of a word that we can't say on TV is, you know, this was said actually at a private party. Somebody recorded it on a cell phone. It wasn't really meant to be out in public. Whereas there's a video of Donald Trump speaking at what looks like a campaign rally using the exact same word, and nobody really cared. And I actually, I don't remember that. I don't remember everybody.
He used the F word at a rally.
The MF word.
Oh, MF?
Same exact word, yeah. And I don't remember it being quite what this is. And I will say, like, I'm consistent because I actually think the least offensive things that Donald Trump has done is used the MF word. Like, to me, that is literally the least offensive thing he has done. I am far more offended by the way he talks about Muslims or the way he talks to NFL players who are kneeling, and the way that he attacks people and the way that he degrades people and the way he bullies people. So there actually is a consistency. You know, the point is, she said this at a campaign private party. Okay.
I want to show Democrats clearly divided on the subject of impeachment. House Democrats. Let's take a listen to just two.
I certainly think it's a valid question, and it's one that a lot of voters were interested in having on, in the run-up to the election, and it's certainly a conversation that's a legitimate one to have.
I'm not comfortable with that kind of language, and I'm not comfortable with that belief. We have to wait for the Mueller report before we have any idea where we're going with this.
So Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, it's a legitimate discussion to have, impeachment. Congressman Peter DeFazio, we have to wait for the Mueller report. And that's the divide right now among the House Democratic Caucus.
See, and I don't really see that as a divide. I see her answer as not necessarily a difference from him. I think that there are folks who are eager to get on with the process, to remember that Congressman Green and others introduced articles of impeachment last year. And so there are folks who are like, I have more than a gut feeling where you see smoke, there's a huge fire. And I think that's our reality. Yes, it would be ignorant for the Democrats to go before the Mueller investigation is concluded. And I think, moreover, now we have Congressman Cummings, who's very effective at oversight and government reform, who has key oversight authority here, and a number of other Democrats, all the Democrats in the House, have this oversight responsibility of every federal agency. So there may be a lot more. Do I want to wait to see what other mess has been created by this administration? No, but I also think that it would be horrible for them to go forth with impeachment without having all of the evidence.
As a pollster, you're a Republican pollster, but as a pollster, take off the partisan hat for a sec. What would you advise Nancy Pelosi to do what she's doing right now, or to follow the base?
I would advise Nancy Pelosi to not follow the base down this road. I mean, those poll numbers that you put up there tell the story perfectly. There are plenty of issues out there where independent voters in the country are closer to where the Democratic Party is than the Republican Party is. Impeachment's not one of those issues. Impeachment is an issue where independents look a lot more like Republicans, where they want, let's go through the process. Let's let the Mueller report come out. Let's make sure we've investigated. Congress can impeach the president even if he's doing a good job, but politically, that's much more challenging to do. And I think for Democrats right now to be sort of taking this position of let's impeach him when the report's not out. I mean, you have Tom Steyer's group, Need to Impeach, that has just put an ad by. They're going to be going up on the air in states like Iowa and South Carolina this weekend with ads talking about the need to impeach. If I was Democratic leadership, I would be like, could you guys not? Just for a little bit? Because this is not the kind of issue that is bringing independents along to the Democratic Party, at least in the absence of big conclusions from Mueller.
Of course, Tom Steyer potentially going to run for president, and he's riding the impeachment horse to that. This is going to be a pressure point for Kamala Harris, Elizabeth Warren, Cory Booker, Amy Klobuchar, and on and on and on. What do you think they should do?
I think they're in a tough spot because I think, this is something that the Democratic base wants to hear. But the truth of the matter is, it would be an exercise. It would just be an exercise essentially because the Senate's not going to convict him. So they would go through all of this. They would spend all this political capital on it, and they could impeach him. But in the end, they're not going to get rid of him, and that's really what Democrats want. They really want to get rid of him. They don't want just some sort of show vote, right?
It's like resign, please. It will take impeachment also. The one point on this that I do think we should talk about is this is really about Democrats showing an ability to fight. Historically, this has been a party that's been about compromise and, forget our values for a minute. We'll do what we need to do to just, plug our noses and do this tough vote. This is really about the fight. So I think it's a principled thing more than anything.
Everyone stick around. Speaking of